Right, SABC News education specialist reporter Mahlako Komane has been tracking this story. She joins us now. Very good afternoon to you, Mahlako. Just talk to us about what you're seeing in Gauteng as pupils head back to school.
Yes, good afternoon to you too, Nzinga. I mean, we traveled all the way to Mahlako. We were following basic education minister. You could see it. I mean, it was a school day, the beginning of school. We saw those long lines, I suppose, as the screening is happening and as they are busy with doing those protocols and so forth. But also you did see some parents. I mean, if you look at some of the districts, the busier districts, we know them now. I mean, this online system has been, we have been living with the online system, the application system for at least 5 years now. So you kind of can guess that we have parents as well, frustrated parents that are still there at those district departments, also, just trying to get space for their children so that they can, I suppose, get the stationery list, get the uniform list, and, begin with schooling. But I mean, that number, we are expected to also increase by the end of, the day, with late applications being opened. There are parents that have, either they are moving back into the public education system, or people have moved into the province. As we heard the MEC, they're saying that, Gauteng seems to be a province of choice in terms of offering education.
Mahlako, we know that the impact of COVID-19 has been devastating for schooling. We also know that even though we're at level 1 with very few restrictions, there may be rotational learning. Just talk to us about that.
Nzinga, the issue of rotational learning, I mean, it's been very topical. I think once those restrictions were eased, that was the question that came to mind for a lot of parents. We did speak to some parents in Mahlako saying that, they want to see their children back at school full time, to attend Monday to Friday every day without having that staggered or the rotational timetable. But also, having spoken to the minister yesterday, she had her briefing. One of the things that she did say, because at one point I think she had said that children would continue rotating for the rest of January. But the real question came, when can South African learners expect to be back in the classroom like their international counterparts? Her explanation was that she had been in talks with COCTA as well as the Command Council. I think it was also health is also, she mentioned that as well, saying that the issue for her right now is that she can't necessarily build extra schools in certain places, because once, the COVID situation is over, if it's ever over, they'll be having an excess of classrooms. What do they then do with that? But what she had wanted, or what she's currently trying to request, which has been happening since last year, August, when primary school learners were meant to return back to school on a full-time basis, was that reduction. Remember, the social distancing, the parameters were sitting at 1.5 meters. It moved to a meter. She wants half a meter. She says that will enable her to have more children come into the classroom. Should she then open schools before that is gazetted, or that is, legislated by COCTA, she would, in essence, I suppose, be breaking the law indirectly by having children come in without observing that particular protocol. But for now, as things stand, rotation is continuing up until we can get an update from the department or understand how far their talks are with COCTA. It would seem that it's going to continue into the next month. But right now, it really is going to have to be a wait-and-see game. But the issue of vaccination, she said that, the more learners that she can get to vaccinate, that I suppose will help her strengthen her case when she goes to the Command Council to try and get them to reduce that 1 meter to half a meter, so that she can have more children in the classroom. But I mean, rotational learning, Zinga, we do know the Human Rights Commission had entered that for it continues to it continues to exacerbate that gap between the haves and the have-nots, because schools in certain areas have been able to go back on a full-time basis. It's more schools in overly crowded areas, in less and disadvantaged areas, that continue to suffer the brunt of an unequal education system.
Mahlako Komane, SABC News education specialist reporter, joining me in studio there. Thanks so much for your time and that update on back to school, Mahlako.